Wait, Heineman, it is later at night now on December 20th, 2020. It's almost 7 o'clock. It's actually 7:15. And when I wrote this, it was 6:48. As you can see. Fog Zap on YouTube channel, Wade Allen Heineman, born 11/4/71. Here's for identity. Different looks of my face. For identity again. And I only have my iPad for light right now because I have the power off to the acreage. So you wouldn't see anything if you're coming from by the road right now. I do this quite often, shut off all the power, so you wouldn't see anything. It's 7:15 though, you can see there. There's some indication that one of the frauds that stole my space interaction theory, I still don't know who it is. Space interaction theory ideas was a quote rocket scientist. Well, most of the most influential physics thinkers in the past, none of them were rocket scientists or ever became rocket scientists, and none of them were even engineers, let alone rocket scientists. I mean, they had aspects of engineering in some of them, but none of them had ever trained in engineering or rocket science. So I don't know who this quote rocket scientist is, if it's Elon Musk or whoever is, claiming my space interaction theory. But if you think, the three photos that Einstein had on his wall of people were Michael Faraday, who didn't know anything beyond algebra. He didn't know trigonometry or anything like that. He wasn't trained. He didn't even have formal schooling. And he's the most influential person in physics in the last few hundred years. Michael Faraday, and he only knew algebra. And then Maxwell came along and wrote out what Faraday had discovered through his scientific experiments and stuff. But Faraday didn't know anything beyond algebra, and he's still the most influential physicist in the modern era because he was a thinker. He wasn't, formally trained. So those are two of the photos that Einstein had on his wall, and the other one was Isaac Newton, who, as you know, his breakthrough moment came when he saw an apple drop from a tree. And whether it hit him on the head or not, it's debated. It's kind of like any myth after that. But that is how he came through with his light bulb moment. So you don't have to know physics, or you don't have to know engineering or rocket science to come up with a breakthrough idea. You don't have to be formally trained in any of it. You have to have the ability to think. Einstein's ideas a lot of them came when he was riding a train, and he noticed how the context changed when he was moving and another train was stopped, or another train was moving in an opposite direction or whatever. So these people, none of them had an engineering degree. Copernicus, who changed he changed the entire outlook of an Earth-centered universe to a sun-centered solar system. And he was a clergyman. He knew mathematics, but he was a clergyman. Einstein was a patent clerk when he became famous. He wasn't a rocket scientist, and he never became one. He never became an engineer. These are physicists who think practically, and they think in images. They don't think in terms of mathematics. And Einstein, it's still debated whether most people think that Hilbert came up with the mathematics after Einstein's idea, but Hilbert gave Einstein the credit for it because he knew it was Einstein's idea. He was a decent person. I still don't know who the frauds are, claiming my space interaction theory ideas. My breakthrough moment came through. I was watching a TV show, and I have a background in astronomy, physics, and geography, which is the study of physical relationships and also people and the interactions between physical realities and also people. But I was watching a series on space, and I realized in that moment that nature's time was different than human time. And so eventually I divided that up into 3 ways we look at time, which was nature, the clock, and memory. Memory can go back and forth. The clock is dividing time up as we go forward, and nature just has the moment. So that's what I eventually stated. I never tried to take time away. It's just that there are different ways of looking at time. And then my other breakthrough came in several ways, but one of the main ways was that when light hits water, it heats the water, but it doesn't travel all the way through the water. It becomes absorbed by the water. And in order for it to heat the water, it had to slow down. And you think of the same thing happening over billions of light years, only it happens much slower. That wave slows down and elongates and becomes microwave and infrared, and then eventually gets captured by gravitational fields along the way, or stopped by an object, and then quickly dissipates. And then what remains is the mass part of light, which is a particle in wave form, which is, go to Richard Feynman's QED, which is the most successful theory in physics, quantum electrodynamics. Go to Richard Feynman's book, and he will tell you it is a particle in wave form. Signing off, Wade Heinemann. Is about 8-minute long video here. December 20th, 2020. Don't know who the frauds are.